Mina Rauschenbach and Briony, you have recently completed a research project on enforced disappearances with 2 case studies in El Salvador and Colombia. And we'd like to ask you, what were you hoping to find and what have you found after 2 years of intensive work?
Yeah, it's great questions, thank you. Well, I mean, the project initially was really focused on the experience of the search for the forcibly disappeared. This is a process that we don't actually know very much about, especially in terms of the participation of the families of the victims and how that can be done in a meaningful and conflict-sensitive way that will also help to increase the chance of success of the search, and also potentially help rebuild social ties and trust in society. So we were really focused on the process of the search and on the participation of the families in the search process.
And then what were some of the findings and possibly challenges that you've encountered in these 2 years?
Well, the findings, I mean, in some ways, it's so rich, the data, it's hard to kind of boil down, isn't it? But I think there are kind of 3 or 4 main kind of points we could make here. So we'd brought together in our project a multidisciplinary team of lawyers, political scientists and social psychologists. So our findings really reflect that interdisciplinary richness. And the first thing we found out is that it's incredibly important to have clear international standards on the process of the search and on the nature of the participation of the families to kind of ensure that they have that right to participate. And that translates into strong political will at the national state level as well to support the search process. We also found that by focusing on the search, in addition to thinking about enforced disappearance as a criminal act, we were able to bring in much more the needs of the victims and the experiences of the victims. And through doing that, we also found, connected to this, that they have really complex experiences of victimhood, which are further complicated by the tendency of the state to deny the crime or other actors in society to deny the crime, or lack of recognition of the crime more widely in society.
And we can already speak about some concrete outputs and possibly impact of such project. Can you give us a couple of details about that, Mina?
Yes, absolutely. Well, obviously we had, empirically based research findings that came out of it. So we have several publications that have been submitted and are going to be published. We have blog posts, so it goes beyond, the classical academia type of writing. We also have we had a video project, which was showcased for the Geneva Peace Week. And so that was an occasion to present the project, but also to give the voice to certain victims. Not so much the victims who had been interviewed in our project for confidentiality reasons, but giving voice to people on the ground to talk about these issues. So the creative strategy that came out of quite a bit of brainstorming was to think of a website. And our partners in Colombia and in El Salvador, so De Justicia for Colombia and Pro Búsqueda for El Salvador, both of them brainstormed a bit on the findings, thinking of how to come up with a website where you are going to have a description which is maybe more tangible, maybe more concrete, more visual of the search. A virtual museum, a virtual tour would be an interesting way of being able to show what the search means concretely, maybe in another type of language, not in a kind of a rigid format of academia, a more visual, a more tangible format, with testimonies, with basically the different trajectories, the different phases that the search process can take on.
And now that you've been through the process of looking at this yourself, do you have any, let's say, more concluding message or something that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
I think, well, maybe a message about the nature of doing this kind of research. I think for us what was really valuable about the nature of the funding that we received from you was that it allowed us to bring together this interdisciplinary team. And it was absolutely clear right from the beginning, and even clearer as we continued throughout the project, that we needed these different disciplinary perspectives in order to have the kind of rich analysis that would allow us to make a contribution to knowledge. So I think the richness of the interdisciplinary partnership, and also the partnership between those of us based in the global north and our partners based in the global south, and this was really quite consciously an equitable partnership. We teamed up for each stage of the research process, not just that the case study partners would do the data collection and we would do the analysis, but we wrote together, we analysed the data together. And I think for me, teamwork was really, really key to allow us to make the kind of impact and produce the kind of outputs that we have.
Mina?
Yeah. I would just add to what Briony said, that we really developed a kind of a dynamic working methodology together. It was a very stimulating process where academia and practice kind of intersected, interacted, grew through each other and developed really. So this was really a great experience, and I think it should be. I think it should be part of this type of research. This element of academia and practice together, working together.
Well, Briony and Mina, thank you very much for your testimony, and good luck with further research.
Thank you. Thank you.